Alright, so for this video, I kind of want to talk about strengths and weaknesses and identifying those strengths and weaknesses. For instance, knowing your greatest weakness can also be your greatest strength. If your hamstrings are weaker than your quads and your glutes, then you're not going to be able to perform as well in the movement where the hamstrings get involved the most. So being able to hit that muscle group an extra time a week, or knowing how hard to hit that muscle group and knowing when to recover and being able to go again can also be one of the greatest things you can do for you in your training. If you're trying to get a big squat, for instance, for me, I need to work more on my glute strength and a little bit on my hamstrings because I noticed that I'm very dominant, like quad wise, in terms of like doing squats where I feel the power. So I'm trying to switch things up a little bit and actually trying to hit different movements that target my glutes and hamstrings. For instance, like for last video, when I was doing the hip thrusts, very good movement in terms of targeting your glutes and building strength right there. So targeting or starting to target these weaker muscle groups, it can actually help a lot in terms of like pain and like for instance, I've had some knee pain in my right knee for a while now, but it's starting to get better and like day by day, like I'm starting to feel it less and less, which is awesome because I'm actually like starting to be able to squat more weight because I'm not getting bothered or having that issue pop up. And that was something that was holding me back before from trying to go like super heavy on squat was my right knee, like worrying if I'm going to injure it more. So I definitely think that targeting the weaker muscle groups and finding out where you're weak in those areas can actually lead to huge improvements and it can change your whole style of training. Training my hamstrings as well has also made a huge impact in the way I do things. I feel stronger at the bottom of my squat and I feel a little bit more of that spring movement, like you feel like you can just hop right up out of it, which is awesome. So always make sure to try to identify your weaknesses and also know your strengths. Like knowing your strengths can also prevent you from getting injured. Like for instance, if I were to be bench pressing and instead of using my chest, I'm using more of my front delts because my front delts are stronger, well, then that's something that I got to work on right there. My greatest strength can also be a weakness in terms of like if I'm not doing something right, I got to learn how to do it better so I can prevent something worse from happening in the future. The point is to train your strengths and weaknesses. You don't want to get injured. That's the last thing you want to happen because injuries can lead to a whole bunch of other stuff. You don't want to be so deep into a program and then have that injury come along because not only does it set progress back just so much, you also like get down whenever you get injured because no one likes it. It's not fun and it takes you out of your training. So just make sure that you're always focusing on trying to find out what you can do to be better where your areas like are weakest. And also when it comes to stretching, stretch out your strongest muscle groups as well as your weakest all the time. Whenever you're at home or not doing something and you're bored, just get up and stretch for a minute. You can also feel really good after and it basically takes little to no time. Like I'd recommend at least taking 15 to 20 minutes out of your day to stretch and just like when you wake up in the morning, instead of like getting straight to the shower or something, just stretch and I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better. So stretch and then do everything, then make breakfast. And I promise you, it can make a huge difference in the way that you feel in the morning, how you get up, and how much you're going to do. But yeah, that's basically the video. Make sure to come back for the next one. Starting to get stronger, and the lifts are starting to go up, and I'm super excited. So yeah, I'll catch everyone on the flip.